Happy Monday. Welcome into the show. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, we appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day, and I hope all of you out there had a fantastic weekend. On the docket for today, a fantastic show. Huge Dre Greenlaw injury update after he underwent successful surgery on that left Achilles, and we have to get to some Niners free agency buzz and rumors. In particular, we're going to focus along the offensive line, a massive area of need for the San Francisco 49ers in 2024. If you need to upgrade your wardrobe, make sure you do it with Roan. I've been able to do that on multiple occasions, especially here, starting fresh in 2024. I'm wearing the Roan commuter polo right now. You can get 20% off and free shipping at roan.com/chatsports. Let me throw you a bone. Upgrade your closet with Roan with that fantastic deal. Why I love their products. High quality men's gear, breathable, stretchable fabric. I'm done with wearing some of those cotton t-shirts because they're uncomfortable. They don't last all that long. They don't even look all that good. With Roan, you don't have to worry about that. Also, no need to go to the dry cleaner because the more that you wear their shirts and their shorts and their pants, the more that the wrinkles actually go away. Anti-odor technology as well. And if you're looking for dress shirts, polos, pants, and shorts, Roan has you covered. So one more time, roan.com/chatsports. You get 20% off your order. We're going to put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of this video. I wear this shirt to go golfing. I wear it out to a date, wear it out to take down some drinks with some of the Chat Sports homies, but you can wear these shirts going to a nice job interview or with the suit, whatever you want to do, roan.com/chatsports. They have you covered. All right, let's get to the latest here on Dre Greenlaw. The 49ers getting a really positive update on the injury front for the Niners off-ball linebacker going into the weekend, and things seem to be pointing up on the Greenlaw injury front. As we know, tore his left Achilles coming off the sideline after a punt in the Super Bowl. And that injury happened in the second quarter. San Francisco is not the same after that. His replacement, Oren Burks, was targeted 9 times, and he gave up 9 catches, nearly a perfect passer rating when targeted for Patrick Mahomes. And San Francisco really missed the activity level from Greenlaw, the physicality. As Patrick Mahomes went to the sideline, he even said after a couple of big Greenlaw plays, we need to match their physicality and their intensity. And now you look ahead, when that injury happened, your heart and your stomach sunk during that moment. And then you looked forward, shoot, are the Niners going to be without Dre Greenlaw, not just for the rest of the Super Bowl, but for the entirety of the 2024 season? Well, there is a chance he could play in the season opener. This coming from Dr. Kenneth Jung, who is a foot and ankle surgeon and consultant for the Los Angeles Rams. He operated on Cam Akers, who came back in record time after he tore his Achilles a couple of years ago. And the Super Bowl injury, it occurred 7 months before the season opener. And Dr. Kenneth Jung is saying maybe Greenlaw could be back for the season opener in about 6 or so months. Here's the latest from the doc. We can confidently tell patients that at 6 months, that's a reasonable amount of time to be back. Of course, there are no absolutes. It depends a lot on how well he's rehabbing and how well he gains his strength back. There's also this, which I think is very interesting, because when you suffer an injury like an Achilles or an ACL, there's always that lack of confidence in trying to come back, and Kenneth Jung also noted that too. It's getting that confidence back, which might be the biggest hurdle, especially with an Achilles. In the back of their mind, they remember that pop in their leg, and it's being able to trust that leg again to push off and explode off of it. It requires getting rid of that apprehension where they know they can just plant their foot in the ground and go. More reasons to be optimistic is that Greenlaw is also a young player, 26 years old. I played basketball the other day on Saturday with a couple of coworkers here at Chat Sports. My entire body is sore. My running streak is approaching 300 days, but I get some of those quick twitch muscles moving, and I'm still sore a couple of days later. It's not good for me at 32 years old. But Greenlaw's 26 years old, so him being able to bounce back, he can bounce back a little bit quicker because he's still young. Body recovery, obviously, happens a little bit faster when you're a little bit younger in age. There's also time and no rush to be back. The entire offseason can be dedicated toward him trying to recover from this injury. Whereas Aaron Rodgers suffered it in week 1 with that torn Achilles with the New York Jets. He tried to be back before the end of the season. Dre Greenlaw doesn't have to match a timeline here. He can take his time, and if he's not ready for week 1, that's fine. Niners can get him back at some point during the season, and hopefully that defense doesn't miss a beat. There are all these advancements in medical technology where when I was growing up, 12 to 16 months was the recovery timeline for an ACL or an Achilles. Now, we're seeing players back on the field or the court well before that. For Greenlaw, we know that he's pivotal to the Niners' success, and it was a crushing blow losing him in the Super Bowl. His season stats this past year, I thought he played at a borderline all-pro level, 120 tackles, 5 TFLs, 4 pass breakups, and 4 quarterback hits. And then his game was taken to another level in the playoffs. Niners had that first-round bye, and then in the divisional round, he picks off Jordan Love twice, including the game-clinching interception when Love inexplicably tried to roll right throw across his body. And Greenlaw in the playoffs, when he was targeted, gave up a passer rating of 39.4 and only surrendered few and far between explosive plays and had those 2 interceptions. His coverage grade, according to PFF, 89.7. And then his overall Pro Football Focus grade was 80.2. So really to summarize things with Dre Greenlaw here, and Jack, you can go full screen so that I can clip this for my social media pages at Chase_Senior on X and Instagram. There is a belief that Dre Greenlaw could be back in about 6 months. This is great news for the San Francisco 49ers moving forward. Dr. Kenneth Jung, who's operated on a lot of Achilles injuries across the NFL, said that with Greenlaw and patients that he operates on, there is a chance that that 6-month timeline could have Greenlaw back in a Niners uniform for week 1. As for how the Niners really address the linebacker position this offseason, it's going to be fascinating to see what they do in free agency as well as in the NFL draft. This is a Niners organization that prioritizes and has the linebacker position as the backbone of their defense. You think back to Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman. You think back to modern day right now, to Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. The linebacker position is really important to what the Niners want to do on the defensive side of the football. They run that Seattle scheme, and you think back to some of the great linebackers that the Legion of Boom Seattle Seahawks defenses had. Most recently with a player like Bobby Wagner, who is that massive hitter who could really make his imprint be known on the game. So the NFL Scouting Combine is happening this week in Indianapolis. We will be there. I imagine the Niners are going to really scout that position. But in the 2023 NFL Draft, they took players who they're really high on and 2 players who I'm high on because they certainly flashed in the preseason. D. Winters and Jalen Graham. There's a possibility that they could have a more sizable role for the Niners defense in 2024 under the new defensive coordinator. And you also have to throw this in there. Could San Francisco elect to try to bring back Azeez Al-Shaair, who in his first full season as a starter with the Tennessee Titans this past year, as he followed Rand Carthon from the Niners front office to the Titans, where he became the general manager, was 5th in tackles and 5th in tackles for loss, can shoot the gap, play the pass, really good against the run, physical and fast, has that sideline-to-sideline speed that the Niners really covet. I'd love to see him come back, but with the way that he played, he may have outpriced himself for the Niners' liking, which is why they might have to pivot to some of the younger players in Jalen Graham and D. Winters, who possibly could be more ready to play in year 2 as compared to year 1, just because naturally they're going to be a little bit more seasoned. The linebacker position, fascinating one to look at, though, as we kind of canvass this Niners roster going into 2024. So do the Niners still need to address the linebacker position this offseason? Give me a Y for yes and for no. Let me know down in the comment section. Now, as I said, NFL Scouting Combine going down in Indianapolis this week, and I will be there. 49ers Report going to be in Indianapolis from Tuesday to Saturday. Make sure you subscribe for draft and free agency updates. John Lynch is going to speak with the media tomorrow. We'll bring you that interview and takeaways from it right here on the show. So make sure you lock us in and hit that sub button. I'll also be relaying a lot of updates from things that I'm hearing. And of course, I'll do some videos as I normally do with some more short form coverage on my social media pages. X at Chase_Senior, Instagram at Chase_Senior. Give me a follow over there. As for the latest Niners free agency buzz, the offensive line is the biggest area of need, in my opinion, that the 49ers need to address in order to be realistic contenders in 2024. Niners are linked heavily to 2 free agent interior offensive linemen, both players who I think are scheme fits and would be massive upgrades from what we saw this past year from Spencer Burford and John Feliciano, even though the latter in Feliciano did play pretty good football down the stretch. Wouldn't be opposed to him coming back $3 to $5 million per year, but John Feliciano simply is not the player or the caliber of players that we're about to discuss here on the show. Think about this. The Niners in 2023 had the top overall offense in the National Football League, despite ranking 20th in pass block win rate and 23rd in run block win rate. San Francisco averaged nearly 30 points per game, and outside of Trent Williams and Aaron Banks on the left side, the middle and right side of that offensive line was mediocre to bad. Can you imagine what this Niners offense would be able to do with Brock Purdy having another season under his belt, George Kittle, who had his first 1,000-yard season since 2019 at tight end this past year, Deebo Samuel, who had more than 1,000 all-purpose yards, Brandon Ayuk, who was a top 10 wide receiver this past year and a second-team All-Pro, and Christian McCaffrey, who had more than 2,000 all-purpose yards. The 49ers offensive line has kept them from reaching their fullest potential the last 2 years, and that's why I believe John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, this Niners coaching staff and front office, they have to address the right side of the offensive line this offseason. And that's why they've been linked to a player like Mike Onwenu, who is 6'3", 350 pounds, played his college football at Michigan. He was drafted in 2020, 6th-round pick by the New England Patriots. In 2023, why I really like him, he played 194 snaps at right guard, but 656 snaps at right tackle. He has positional versatility where I think he's better suited to play on the interior, but when you log that many snaps at right tackle, clearly Bill Belichick and the Patriots coaching staff thought that he had the agility and the athleticism to play at right tackle. In 4 years, a lot of experience, 64 games, 56 starts, so he would come to San Francisco with a lot of playing time under his belt, and he graded out really well, according to Pro Football Focus in 2023. Overall PFF grade of 71.5. Pass blocking grade of 68, still in the green there. Run blocking grade of 72.2. He packs a punch. He can get to that second level, and that's obviously really important for the Niners' outside zone running scheme under Kyle Shanahan in the ground game. He's a disciplined and heady football player who only had 4 penalties this year, gave up 3 sacks for what was an absolutely awful and inept New England Patriots offense. 2 quarterback hits allowed, 23 total pressures, 850 snaps, 505 of them, coming by way of pass blocking. I always trust Brad of SF Niners when it comes down to offensive line play because he's a former offensive lineman, and I think on YouTube he really evaluates the position really well. He thinks that he's someone that he'd be very interested in adding to the Niners and maybe a better option than the next option that we're about to talk about in Robert Hunt. But for Onwenu, started last year at right guard, finished at right tackle, has amazing positional versatility, packs a literal punch. On his Twitter page, you can give him a follow here, release some clips of him just getting to that second level, but also just utilizing really good technique and a lot of power behind his strong hands. The other interior offensive lineman who the Niners are linked to here going into the free agency period is Robert Hunt. Second-round pick out of Louisiana in 2020 by the Miami Dolphins, came to the league with pedigree, 39th overall selection then. He's massive too, 6'6", 330, 27 years old, so he's also young. Tackle and guard versatility in 4 years, 61 games, and 55 starts. Hunt played well, and I think this is obviously notable, in Mike McDaniels' scheme last year for Miami. Obviously, that bodes well for him being a fit in San Francisco because Mike McDaniel worked under Kyle Shanahan and has a lot of the similar elements of Shanahan's scheme that he's running in Miami. Hunt graded out even better than Onwenu. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 77.1. Pass blocking grade of 74.5. Run blocking grade of 75.9. 2 penalties, 1 sack allowed, 1 hit, 5 total pressures, 547 snaps, 329 pass blocking snaps. What's of note here, he only played 10 games, so the sample size a little bit smaller, but the numbers a little bit better. Look, the Niners, if they don't address the offensive line, it is a massive problem for this organization moving forward. It would be a joke if they don't. They didn't draft a single offensive lineman in the 2023 draft. How does that happen after what happened in 2021 and in 2022? It's the biggest thing holding them back. It got exposed against the Cowboys and the Eagles last year in the playoffs, and this year it got exposed against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. The big question, how will the Niners go about this? Will they splurge and spend a lot of money in free agency, or will they go with a more cost-affordable option with more relative unknowns in the draft and take a player in the NFL draft? So pick an interior offensive lineman here. Who are you going with? Let us know. As you venture down, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Combine all week. Our coverage is going to be phenomenal. You don't want to miss it.